Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you being there. So if you're new to the channel, basically the purpose is to talk about different problems that are going on with politics, the economy, and basically I try to figure out a way to solve it. There are 3 different plans that I want to put into action that I think will address these issues. I'm going to get into one of them. So the inspiration for today's video was compliments of a Facebook argument. What's better than that? So basically, here, I'll pull up part of the post. I'm not going to get into the argument because that's kind of petty and semantic. But here we go. So I'm not sure if you can read this. The lettering might be kind of small. But what it says is, here's an image from Iran of a woman cutting her birthday cake in 1973, 5 years before the Islamic Revolution there. Just want to point out how things can change when the government gets religious, which I thought was an interesting take. So it's not so much that it got religious as much as it became authoritarian. And that's the comment that I made, and that's what triggered the whole argument. Everybody jumped on what I had to say and like, no, it's not because they're authoritarian, it's because they're religious. It's like, no, that's totally different. Communists, they're not religious, and they were very authoritarian. People tried commenting with, but that's just a concept and an idea. As if religion is not. It hurts. So anyway, the big takeaway here is there are people on certain extremes that are concerned that someone from the other extreme is going to take over, and that's not going to be good. And that's justified. So that is a very valid, legitimate concern, and I totally support that concern. So my idea to address that kind of thing, well, first of all, let's look into that. So is there a possibility that something like that could happen? Well, yeah. There's a what's called the pendulum effect. So as things become more and more extreme, the pendulum swings further and further to each different opposing and opposite extreme. For example, in Italy, they just appointed someone who's pretty radical right-wing, like really, really far right-wing. That's because in Italy, a lot of things been, for the most part, pretty radically left-wing, and it created a lot of problems, and a lot of people saw the solution to the problems was to hire someone on the opposite end of the spectrum who is equally extreme. That's not a great trend. You should not result into matters like that. So the best way to address that kind of thing is, instead of taking a big one-size-fits-all kind of format and trying to make it work for everybody, you should probably choke that down to make other little groups and pockets work, basically what's best for them, while keeping the security of one entire United Nation. That being, America. So I think America would be better served as a strong government, but a weak federal government. So what that means and what that would look like is what I call the Titus Act, total inversion tax unit structure. So basically you take the federal government and it's big old one size fits all, because that's what basically every country around the world uses, and it's not great for anybody. It's hard to get things done, and it's hard to keep everybody happy. So the better way to do that is to have a strong a powerful federal government that doesn't have a lot of political strength or a lot of political teeth. So in fact, that would be better served for other individuals in a smaller localized setting. So if extremists do take office, it's not going to affect the entire nation. It's in fact going to just affect their one little spot. So if you have religious radical extremists, well, I mean, the Nazarites or whatever they're called, oh shoot, I forgot. Like the Amish. The Amish can have their little radical religious county instead of taking the whole country with them. They can do their evil horse and buggies and living off the grid and all that up there. Mennonites, that's what I was looking for. Mennonites. So you can have your own little Mennonite county elsewhere and whatnot. Or on the flip side, you can have your peaceful communist county in another part of the state, or different state, whatever. So anyway, I think that would address the issue of extremes, because you're no longer having swing pendulum extremist radicals trying to fix the problems and oh, look at this extreme, they created these problems, so vote for my extreme to fix those problems. And people are swayed by that, and it's really disappointing. So anyway, moral of the story is, pay attention to local politics and support a type of federal government that would empower stronger local governments, and stop trying to do this one size fits all. It's not a good fit. So anyway, it's pretty much all I got. don't really have a whole lot to say beyond that, but yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you being here, and as always, stay classy. I probably should have set up my end before that. Anyway, bye for now. Thanks.